Hey stars, I'm back. Um, got some things I want to talk to you about. And first off, I want to start this video off with I want to thank you guys from the bottom of my heart for the support I've been getting. Um, I feel so good to go to bed, put a video out, and go to bed and wake up the next day and see that I have almost 2,000 views, and another video almost 3,000 views. And actually, I think I have maybe 17 videos out, and only three of those are under 1,000 views. And I think that was because my first introduction video was like a minute and a half. The second video was like maybe 2 minutes, 3 minutes. I was scared to death in the beginning because people don't understand that when you do something like this, it seems like it's easy, but it really isn't easy. You're putting yourself out there for whatever criticism. You know, people have things to say, and then when you open up your social media for people to comment, every comment isn't good. But you know what? That's good. I'm a big boy. I can take it. But nevertheless, um, I wanted again to thank you. It makes me feel so good. It makes my heart smile. Because to be honest with you, if you look at my subscribers, I only have 100 subscribers. And but when you look at my videos, 2,000, almost 3,000 views. And I'm realizing that a lot of people that watch YouTube, they just punch it in on their phone and then go to the video. They don't actually have a page where they actually subscribe. So I'm thinking maybe that's the issue. But nevertheless, I'm grateful for what I see and how I'm being received by you guys. And then one more thing before I get into our stories. You know, I've received a few since I've been only doing this for a couple of months. And um, I hear from people that know me, that spent time around me. They say, you seem uncomfortable. You're not being yourself. And I have to tell them, first off, it's not as easy as it looks. Second of all, when you see other people on shows that they do podcasts and it's two people, three people, those are very easy to do because you have things to bounce off of one another. But when you're only one person, you set your stories up, you investigate, you get as much information as you can at the time, and you want to put it out. I don't want it to be like a race against time for me to get you guys stories. I want to get you factual things. I want to tell you what I do know to be factual. I just don't want to put anything out there just to be putting stuff out there. So again, thank you guys so much. And I love you guys. Now, of course, we were, oh, I was talking about people saying that I wasn't myself. I am being myself. If you know me or anyone else in the world, there are different sides of us. And I think that most people see me in a casual setting or in a family friendly setting. Yeah, I cut up, I show out. I'm funny. I am those things, but to get on here and I'm not here to be a clown. I'm not here. I'm giving you who I am, but you got to remember we changed. And who I was 10 years ago, I'm no longer that person, or 20 years ago. So, bear with me. I promise you, I'm giving you all of me at this time. Believe me, the last 2024 has been a trying year, but you know what? I decided this was something I wanted to do. I had support from my spouse, and here I am. Okay, so we're going to get into our first story, which would be the CEO of United Healthcare, Brian Thompson, who was unalived in New York a few days ago. Well, they're now, of course, the story is coming together, and they're now finding out things about the gunman, and they're saying that first off, he used a fake ID, a New Jersey ID, at that, to check into the hotel that he stayed at in the city, I believe, the night before the assassination. Um, so when I start to hear fake IDs and this, that's that's definitely planned. Let's be clear. It's definitely planned. But what I'm saying is, I think that it's coming off more of a hit type of thing, if that makes any sense, where really planned. I don't know. What I will say is in other news about this particular case, it was this what is it? The deny. I'm looking for the because sometimes when you're doing these stories, things come up and you're like, that doesn't give me enough information. Well, anyway, apparently they found the bullet casings. One bullet casing said deny, the other bullet casing said defend, and the other bullet casing said depose. So what does that mean exactly? I couldn't tell you. They just said they felt like it's a cryptic message. Of course, it's cryptic and it's on the shell casing. So this apparently the gunman carved these into the shell casings or wrote them on the shell casings. It just said on the shell casing, cryptic message. So I don't know if it was carved in or if it was written in. I'm not sure. But nevertheless, this was definitely premeditated. This was definitely planned. And again, we'll see where this goes. Oh, no, let me tell you this. Okay, one more thing about this, the CEO of UnitedHealthcare. Um, did you know? Okay, let me be clear. Okay, did you know that Brian Thompson, the CEO of UnitedHealthcare, was reportedly being investigated by the Department of Justice for insider trading when he was assassinated in New York City a few days ago. Again, CEO Brian Thompson was under investigation by the Department of Justice for insider trading. So does this have something to do with the case? I don't know, but it seems to get juicy. And to be honest with you, it looks like something that's going to have I'm sure one of these channels are going to do a show about this as we get more information. They're already planning and planning because this definitely seems like one of these, a 2-hour movie on one of these shows. But again, that's my opinion. It's just allegedly, but I mean, now we find out that he's being investigated by the Department of Justice for insider trading. So, which means he was already on the radar. First off, and then look, we'll see. Listen, guys, I'm going to move on. I wanted to tell you guys this story about Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield, but before I could even get the story out, I wanted to get as much information. They reversed it within what I believe 24 hours, 48 hours after so many people actually lost their mind. Okay, so well, it says Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield reverse plan to cap anesthesia coverage in 3 states following concerns. Well, what they were saying originally was that they were going to pretty much time procedures and surgeries where you know how when you go into surgery they say well this surgery should take an hour and a half, depends, you know. So when they bring the anesthesiologist on, they tell him an hour and a half. But what they're trying to do now is to state if that surgery goes longer, who's going to pay for the anesthesiologist? Because they're saying the coverage is not going to pay for it. Which means you're putting these doctors under constraints of rushing through a surgery. Sometimes when they get in, they find things that they didn't see before, shoddy work. I think you're pretty much putting the patient health definitely in jeopardy. And it seems more like you're prioritizing profit over patient. I got that from my sister Cambria. Profit over patient. But right now, what they're saying is it's been reversed. And the weird thing was, this was going to be in 3 states: Connecticut, New York, and Missouri. And right now, they're saying the policy is still set to go into effect in Missouri in February. But more than likely, since they stopped these 2, hopefully they'll stop at 3. It's ridiculous. I mean, insurance companies, like I said in a previous video, we pay through the nose for insurance. If you work in a private industry, insurance is very expensive. It takes up a good portion of your salary, seriously. Depends on your coverage and it depends on what you got going on. But it takes up more than it should. How about that? Um, I don't know. I think that this country has been completely out of control about with letting pharmaceutical companies and insurance companies just do what they want, get away with whatever it is, and we're the guinea pigs. So again, we'll see how Missouri does for February because they're saying that this is still going into effect in February in Missouri. So we'll see. My next story would be about tipping. Now, this has come up with in conversation with my household, with friends, and I personally think that I'm a great tipper. I've never worked in the food industry. I've never been a waiter. I've never been any of those things, but I know that it's not an easy job. And I know that I'm not always in the best mood. So I try to be as gracious and as nice to the person that's serving me my food. But I know that everyone doesn't think of it in that way. And we all have our days, but I know that I have respect for them. And okay, so this is what's going on. What's going on is apparently servers, sorry, they're getting really picky about tips. And apparently a diner staggered after server turns down a $25 tip. He placed it back on the table. Well, the bill apparently was $197. It was a gentleman was out with a couple of friends, and whatever they ate couldn't have been a lot for $197, but okay, $197, and they tipped the waiter $25. And he looked at it and said he only accepts tips of 10 to 20% of whatever the bill is. That's all he accepts. So at that point, he wouldn't be accepting anything only because of the manner. Now, what I will say to you guys is just getting off the story. Well, actually, me and my partner, we went to get massages. We're big into self-care, pedicures, manicures, reflexology, massages. We're into those things. Actually, tomorrow is that day. So we went to a new place for a massage that was locally to our house last winter because it was close, it was easy, and some friends that went and said it was okay. When we went, it was okay. I mean, I'm used to going to a full spa where I go in, I check in, I go to a room, a locker room, and a room where I can change clothes, get into the sauna, different things. And then you get your massage. And after massage, they rehydrate you. You have these lemon waters, different fruit waters, and, and little finger sandwiches. I'm used to that. But this was just a quick massage, tense and you need it. Well, after the massage is okay. Because we did say we would go back because it was like a 10-minute drive from my house. You know what I mean? So we went, but when it was time to pay, they told us that what we needed to tip. And I didn't understand. And I was like, what do you mean? And I for a masseuse, if full body massage is $100 per person, and it's two of us, I'm going to tip you at least $25. Well, they wanted, if not mistaken, 20% or even more. But they were pretty much telling me, and I told them that I would never return. I tipped her the $25 that I was going to tip her. That was it. And I told them I would never return, and we never did. This tipping thing, like I'm hearing in Europe, tipping is not a normal thing. That's a US type of thing. And now I hear in Europe, they're like killing themselves to deal with Americans because they know we tip. Europeans don't tip. We do. And I don't know where I looked it up and it used to be about service. When people was happy with their service, it wasn't something you had to do. But if you were really happy with your service, so you had a big enough party and you had two waiters and they were really just dealing with you and your group, they deserve separate, really good tips. So I don't know. But to turn down a tip, and the bill is $197 is diabolical. Straight up. You're being ridiculous. I understand that because guess what? If we stop tipping, then that means the restaurants would have to pay you a higher salary or what? Because I hear they hardly pay anything. They're going to do because they're going to have to supplement it. So I don't know, but I'm big on tipping. I am big on tipping. Like I sometimes we can go to dinner and it can be a group of four of us, a group of six of us, and we'll get together and we'll do a 10%, 20% of the tip. And then I'll go back and with giving the tip, I'll still give another $20, $25. Only because I appreciate good service and you don't really get great service nowadays. You really don't. These young kids and these millennials, I would say, I don't know. They something else. They something else. I don't understand. I was at Ruth Chris the other night, and service is always great at Ruth Chris. I mean, but I go to the one closer to my house. I used to in the summertime, I'll go to one in Edgewater or over out there in Hoboken by the water for the view and the atmosphere. And then in the winter months when I want to eat there, I'll go to Short Hills Mall, which is very close to my house, so it's not far for me to get home. So and they bring the steak, and you have to remind I need another steak knife, or I need something else. When you're bringing me a steak, automatically you should be bringing me a steak knife and sauce for that steak. I shouldn't have to wait. It's just piecemealing me, and I don't like it. But nevertheless, that's just me. Um, so I don't know how you guys. Let me know how y'all guys feel about tips. I think tips I think they're important because from what I understand, they don't make that restaurant doesn't pay a lot of money. But however, you ain't gonna tell me I'm not tipping you enough because I'm going by the service that I feel like I deserve. And if you snarky and you're giving me a problem, then guess what? If he would have put my $25 back on the table, I'd have picked it up and put it in my pocket and said goodnight and walked out. It wouldn't have been no place for me to go back and forth with him. I did my part. Well, um, moving along to the next story. Um, apparently, are y'all ready for this one? Okay, let's get ready for this one. This is a little geeky. Surprise, surprise. Black Republicans claim that they feel left out of Trump's second term picks. Okay, so when they say that, I mean, okay, put it this way. Mr. Trump is in the midst of picking his key positions for his cabinet. And out of so far 30 people, only one has been African American. One out of 30. And he still has more to pick, but trust me, they ain't gonna be that. Trust me. And the thing about that is it gets to the point where it's a slap in your face. He's told you what he's about. He's okay. I'm going to read this to you. Okay. Why is every Black person given HUD? Black Republicans feel left out of Donald Trump's all-white cabinet. One lone Black nominee to fill the literal Black job of the administration. Now, I'll get into that. From insiders are stating that being the person over HUD, right, is the Department of Housing and Urban Development is considered the Black job of the administration. It's pretty much has always been given to an African American, I guess, because we know how to deal with urban development and urban people and different nationalities. So again, out of 30 people, only one job, one cabinet has been appointed is HUD. And this is Mr. Scott Turner. Okay. Now they say he's a former NFL cornerback and pastor Scott Turner, who would be the sixth Black person to lead, you guessed it, the Department of Housing and Urban Development. It was only developed in 2017. Donald Trump's first cabinet included only one Black member, HUD Secretary Ben Carson, if you remember. he was the sixth person to lead the department. So he keeps appointing, and other presidents keep appointing pretty much, it's always a Black person that gets the Department of Housing and Urban Development position. But what about the others? I mean, this man, I'm just being a little catty. I mean, allegedly, he's picking librarians to be Secretary of State, old librarians, and like these people, he's like, I heard that allegedly his daughter Tiffany married a billionaire. I'm not sure if he's I think Arabic. Please don't quote me. Allegedly, I think he's Arabic. Well, he appointed Tiffany's father-in-law, who's another billionaire, some type of cabinet seat. I'm like, are you kidding me? It's like when I want pizza and I go to the pizzeria and I go in and there's a Korean person there serving me pizza. I'm not going to say I haven't eaten it because it's actually happened before, but I don't have faith in this product until I actually sink my teeth into it. It's just weird. And I think that listen, guys, he showed you who he is. He told you what it was. And for now, for now, the Black Republicans feeling left out. You're not left out. You're right where you need to be. You're right where you need to be. And when you're there, while you're there where you need to be, get some therapy. Okay. And this is one of the times I want to have a little nasty mouth. But again, I have all types of people that follow me and that subscribe to my channel. So I'm respectful to all. But I mean, come on, really? You're feeling left out. And mind you, he hasn't even taken off his shade. He didn't even take off his shade. Oh. I don't know. I ain't doing the stories. I'm just reporting the stories. Okay. Now there's a senator, Senator Howley, Josh Howley. Now, apparently, they had a Senate hearing, okay, on about Spirit and Frontier. Now, I'm going to be honest, and I'm not being extra. I've never been on Spirit, and I've never been on Frontier. I'm not saying that I never would. I mean, I guess if I need to be someplace really fast and I need to be there, then I guess that's where I would. Listen, I don't know whatever the circumstances would be, but again, it could be me. Okay. Now, when I tell you that Senator Josh Howley was not playing with Spirit and Frontier, when I tell you this man, he was not, you would have thought they went in his pocket and stole his wallet. You would have thought that some of these things he's accusing them of, as far as paying $26 million to its agents, right, to pick us out and charge us because our bags look larger than it should. They paid $26 million out. Like the employees would get a bonus if they pick somebody out, and then you had to pay for your bag, so they were getting the money right back. So, and then there were different prices. Okay, Susie might have had to pay $10 for a baggage fee. Me, Hakeem, probably had to pay $50 to $60 to check that thing back. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna let you hear a little bit of it. It's long, so I'm not gonna play the whole thing, but I want y'all to see how this Caucasian man got into Spirit and Frontier's behind. Okay?
Mr. Chairman, can we just come back to this bounty issue, Mr. Schroeder, Mr.
I'm sorry, guys. Come on. Okay, until I can get that to act right, I'm just going to pretty much tell you what he did. Now, this man, he went question for question. When they seemed to act like they didn't have a problem, I suggest, seriously, you guys go to CPAN or just put in Senator Josh Hawley, Hawley, and I'm sure that it will come up because when I tell you he didn't play with him, he didn't play with him. Let's try again.
Klein, because I have to say, I didn't understand your answers. I thought
Oh man, I don't know what's
you
going
said
on.
to the chairman earlier that you did say in your opening statement that there was a lot of misinformation about this out there, Mr. Schroeder. And I thought you said, Mr. Klein, that you don't charge bounties. So can we just clear this up once and for all? We're all here. We're all under oath. So, Mr. Schroeder, let's start with you. Do you charge a bounty? Do you pay employees bounties on carry-on bags to identify them?
Well,
It's a yes or no.
I wouldn't characterize it as a bounty.
Do you charge them? Do you pay your employees a fee? Do you incentivize them to go pick out bags from people getting on planes and kick them off the flight? Just yes or no.
We charge them an incentive.
Okay, that's a yes. Mr. Klein.
We do not, Senator Hawley.
You don't pay your employees
Mm.
to do that?
We have previously, sir, but we.
When I tell you he wasn't taking no prisoners from them, and that was just a minute of it. This went on for 9 to 10 minutes, baby. He went in. So I suggest you want a good kiki, go in and let ass. Listen, I love you guys. Again, it makes me feel so good. Because listen, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I like to have fun. I'm known to be the life of the party. I'm sorry that people feel that they're not getting the laughter and the joking and all the things that I like to do. Yes, in a private setting, in a comfortable setting, that's what I do. But here, I really want to make this my thing. Me and my husband are self-taught. We knew nothing about this. He's my technical person. He picks out my cameras and my lighting and different things, and we work together on things. My job is to get my stories together, find out as much facts about them, and pretty much get on camera and report them. But everything behind it, as far as all the programs and the green screens, well, not quite green screens, but programs and different things, it's all him with that. And again, I love you guys. It makes me feel so good when I see my numbers. I would like a lot more subscribers, trust me. But you know what? It is what it is. I'm doing it because I want to and not because anything else. Again, stay intentional, be intentional, and stay informed. I love you guys. See you soon. And please comment and let me know what you guys need. See you soon.